Good morning. It is Lindsay from the Vintage Button. I junk journal and I slow stitch and I craft as sustainably as possible. It is Junk Journal July and it is 15 paper bow. So this is my day, so I'm not going to be sending you over to anybody else, but I'll put a reminder who's going to be doing tomorrow's in the description box. Here we are. This is my make for paper bow that I actually did, and I recorded it, and then I listened to the recording back and thought, that's a load of rubbish, Lindsay. So I was way off I did it very, very early this morning. I was way off the screen. It was just not, it wasn't good. So I'm going to talk about it, then we're going to make some paper bows, and then we're going to have a meditation because it's a mindful make day. So this is a rosette. Very, very easy to do. We'll make a quick one. It's got a stamped image, it's got a bit of Bee Happy Stationery, like background paper, the ubiquitous gold pen. It's also got a bit of Victorian letter that says balance. This make art is from one of my homemade stamps that I make out of like sentiment stamps, the silicone ones, because I don't make cards, so I reuse the letters to make my own words up. Then we've got some monogamy tape that I rescued from the bin at my old workplace, like medical tape. A bit more of Be Happy. A bit of dictionary page with one of my homemade stamps, the word sustainable, and a little bit of book page there. And I think what I'm going to do, it will fold, but I think I'm going to glue it down tomorrow when I talk about nostalgia, because I've got a plan for nostalgia. So it'll all be part of that. So there we go. Now, I do craft sustainably. So that means I don't... Oh, that's one of my fabric rosettes. I don't buy single-use craft items. I don't buy things from the large places you order online. That I do buy from Amazon. It's like I want to have a balance. I don't really like Amazon, but I recognise there are some things that I can't buy readily in my local area, so I will buy off Amazon. So I want to be pragmatic, but I also want to be thoughtful in what I make. That's part of my practice. It's just important to me, and that's, you know, it's my, I don't know, is it my USP? A thing that is that, you know, that I do. We're going to make a paper bow. I talk about that. So sustainability is really important for me. I want the things that I do to have meaning, to be aligned with my values, and I just kind of like be a big part of who I am, and that is a big part of who I am. We as a family try to recycle and be mindful with our waste and how we buy things and where we buy things from and all of those types of stuff. And like I said, we're pragmatic because we don't have a lot of money, but I actually find that being careful and considerate with what resources you do have is actually a really frugal way of living. So paper bows are a part of that. I've been making paper bows like this and various sizes for various reasons for a long time. It's how I wrap my Christmas presents, really. I've always used brown paper or even the packaging paper, and I've prettied it up with buying nice paper and making the paper bows and the ribbons around it. Birthday parties for my daughter. I've used paper bows and paper bunting from wrapping paper. Used the wrapping paper for like tablecloths and stuff like that. I've done that for events when I used to work in the community. Would use wrapping paper for tablecloths and paper bowls and things and swags and rosettes and stuff. I remember I organised like a mini village fete in the UK. I'm sure you have them, like country shows where you have best grown veg and best pie and best sort of craft. I've done that, and I've made paper rosettes like this to award the prizes. So like paper, it's just versatile. You can do so many things with it. This is my quick way of making a paper bow. So it's just all strips. But things like this can look really nice. They can look nice in a journal. Now we're going to make the ribbons. In fact, we don't need... Yeah, we will have fat ribbons. We'll have fat ribbons. We can do what we want. This is our journal. We can do what we want. So we'll do that. That's one tail. Should we do another tail? Make it a bit shorter. Dovetail it. Give it a little pleat. Oh, I like it. Then we'll put a bit of glue in. I've got a giveaway while I'm gluing this, just to remind you. So for the giveaway, I'd like you to be subscribed, like the video, comment on the video. What I'd really like in the comment is ask me a question. I'm going to do a question and answer in August. I've got some cracking questions, but yeah, ask me a question. I'd really appreciate it. So that's a paper bow. I've used them. I've helped people decorate for their weddings and use paper bows, like, you know, like big kind of paper bows. Christmas, I've used them for decorating my house for Christmas. They look nice on a Christmas tree, actually. Oh, that could be, we could make Christmas ornaments. Yeah, we could do some stuff like that. So, paper bow, that's one. But you can also use your stamped images. We go back to, in fact, I'm going to put that paper bow, I'll put it in the box that I'll show you in a minute. But you could use your stamped images. If you look here, I've used that as the beginning of the ribbony bits for the paper bow. So the ribbony bits, these paper tapes are monogamied. They're like watercolour monogami on them. I've got some Bee Happy Stationery as well, kind of just to blend in. And I'm really happy with it. I was just not happy with the way that it wasn't in the camera. So there we go. So this is to say that I make art sustainably, but I hopefully have a balanced view on that. That means I'm not militant about it. I'm not going to shout at you and say you shouldn't use the places. I don't think they're helpful places to buy things from, but there's no moral judgment. It's just my value. So with that in mind, I wrote a little meditation, because today is a mindful make. I wrote a little meditation that talks and speaks into us making our art and having a sustainable but balanced kind of view. And also, more importantly, about how our art is sustainable and it sustains our well-being. It's like one of the things that, for me, gives my well-being sustenance. It kind of feeds my soul, and that helps me to be well mentally. I've got anxiety. I would never say I've had clinical anxiety, but anxiety is a big thing, or has been a big thing. It is less and less the more I understand about anxiety and how it works and how rest and play is involved. Sort of doing things like this builds my resistance for the difficult times. There has been times when I've tried to put practices in place that actually have made my anxiety worse. And I found for me, crafting is the thing that really sort of makes space in my resilience tank for anything else. And also having a mindful practice, so sort of making use of things like meditation and mindfulness, doing repetitive actions. That's another big part of like me making my own supplies. If I have a day where I can't think of what I can do and I'm just generally a little agitated, I build my own supplies. So I take out something that I need to do and I just do that. And it could be I make a stash of bows, or I make stamped elements from book pages. A new one unlocked is I make a load of monogami. I get a magazine and I harvest a magazine for all the useful bits and pieces and put it in my magazine box. I take some napkins and just PVA them onto vintage book page for later on. I might take my magazine elements that are fussy cut out. That's another session, fussy cutting. And I might stick them all onto book pages just so that they're double layered and I can fussy cut them out at a later time and create my own elements. So all of those practices are things that sort of help me have a sustainable well-being. They kind of give me space in my resilience tank so that when the stress comes pouring in, there's room for it because I've kind of relaxed. Now let me find my meditation. The sun is on my screen. Here we go. Where's it gone? I found it. I found it. So whilst I'm bringing it up, get into that comfy position. We're going to have our meditation now. I want you to sort of relax. You could be sat at your desk. A lot of people watch my videos on the TV. So you could be sat on the sofa or a big squashy chair with a cup of tea. You could be laid on your bed. You could be laid on the floor, wherever you feel comfortable. I want you to get comfortable. Take a moment. Allow yourself to sink into wherever you are. Let your body feel supported by the chair or the sofa, the bed or the floor. Take a calming breath in and a releasing breath out. This is your space. This is your time. Let's begin. Now you can soften your gaze and look at the art on the screen, or you could close your eyes. But I want you to imagine yourself in a quiet, sunlit artist studio. There's light pouring in through the window, and everything has a soft glow. This could be your own creative space, corner of a room. Imagine yourself there. It could be Monet's house, full of colour and light. It could be a cosy, crafty room, full of interesting things. Wherever you see the space, just be for the next few minutes. So, we're going to think about the art we make, the things we do to prepare for it. the stories that are interwoven in our journal pages, or perhaps our slow stitches. Think about the act of creating and how it brings balance and sustains our well-being. Let's take a deep breath as we continue to be in this peaceful, creative place. Breathe in slowly. Take in creativity. Gather potential. And breathe out. Releasing tension. And finding that place of quiet inspiration. Take another deep breath in. And a breath out. And another breath in. Feel creativeness, if that's a word, and peace, fullness, balance. Breathe out tension, distractions. Settle into this moment for you. Now I want you to think of the words making art. Think about the things you make, the things that you do to express yourself, the treasure that it is to you, that it is a solemn and a sacred act, really, that sustains your creativity, your resilience, that it grounds and brings you peace. That creativity is a conscious choice to make, to create, to bring into being, to express yourself. You are an artist. You tell your story through the things you make. Let that settle. That if you make art, you're an artist. To sustain our creativity, we need to bring balance. Balance to our lives. Acknowledging that making our art, it's not about the finished piece. It's about time that you take for your self-care, to bring you energy and inspiration. That this is how you can sustain your well-being through your focused creative expression. You're an artist. You create. There's no judgment in your art, no comparison, You make for you, nobody else. Feel that calm and contentment that can flow from making art. Take another deep breath in. And a breath out. Carry that sense of sustaining art that you create with you. It is my hope that you'll carry that sense that you are an artist with you in your craft room, a little corner of a room, wherever you go. Let that sense of your creativity bring balance and help you sustain your well-being. So, my hope for you is that you go on and be your best creative self. We will do these mindful sessions every Monday, not just for Junk Journal July. I hope you've enjoyed it. Check out the description details for the giveaway and who we'll have tomorrow for Junk Journal July. Thank you very much, everyone. I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.